just talking about, dude, your special is great.
Oh, thanks.
Your special is, calling a man's piss tart is so funny. You know, it's like little words that you never think about doing when you were talking about, yeah, your piss is tart. I was like, dude, I've never heard piss called tart before.
It was tart. What are you going to do?
Yeah, but I loved it because I've been really like making fun of the political spectrum. Like how, well, the only thing I really say is, when did liking the president become cool?
Yeah.
It's like, you like the teacher. You're like into the guy that makes the rules, you fucking nerd. Yeah. Who's like, oh, teacher, here's an apple. I was like, I don't care if it's Obama, Biden, or Trump. You like the teacher. But that shit was so good when you're like, I'm on this side. And then they're like, they think you're fucking kids. You're like, how would I fuck kids if I'm voting twice? It's great, man.
No, thanks.
Because there's a lot of bad specials out.
I don't watch a ton of comedy.
Don't. Because it's bleak. It's real bad right now. I was just telling Mike I watched. Whew, it's tough.
Yeah, I can't do it. I watched a little bit of Ricky Gervais just to hear him.
Yeah, me too.
I do like how he goes. I mean, I love the clips from him hosting shows.
It was the best. Him hosting the Oscars, him hosting the Golden Globes was so good because you saw a guy that was like, oh, you're talking the way I want someone to talk. You're not licking these people's asses. Right. You're like, you guys suck. But I think, DeRosa and I were talking about this, I think it was because they don't want comics doing it. They want an actor doing it. Like when Tina Fey and Amy Poehler did it, they go like, okay, but you guys are actors. You're like improv. Stand-up comics, they're like, who are you? You know? I think
and I also think they don't hold the clout. There's no way we hold enough clout. There are people in there that think they are so fucking special because some jewelry store rented them pearls for the night.
And they pretended to be a president from 1835. And they go, who's this? And you go, you were pretending, motherfucker. That's what's always blown me away about actors is when they try to get political, you're like, you're a paid liar.
Yeah.
Why would I listen to you about what public policy we need? You fucking sociopath.
Also, it's so interesting because a lot of the people that weren't having anything Joe was saying, it's like your movie sold less tickets than his comedy tour.
He does arenas in every city.
That's insane.
Yeah, I think that's good for comedy though. I think comedy should never be down with the mainstream. Because then I think you get people that start having ideas where you're like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. It's just inviting people in to something that they don't know.
It is inviting it's giving children this idea that unfunny children with no good ideas. Yeah. I can do that.
Yeah.
And then
it's a constant career day.
Yeah.
For dumb kids. Yeah. They're just going like, well, you started in Minnesota?
Yep.
Because here's the thing I love about, number one, you're like one of my favorite comics to watch. The new special's great, but you're like a myth.
Oh, that's amazing. So I've said some horrible shit. I said some shit in Calgary, and I say Calgary because they hate it, and I think it's a toilet of a city.
Really?
I can't. I think it's my least favorite. I ate shit in Montreal, and Calgary's still my least favorite.
See, I love Calgary because I'm from Denver, and it just feels like Canada's version of Denver.
Well, then I didn't get any of that.
Okay.
I was working at a place which by great family ran it, but it was not the upper echelon of the comedy clubs in Calgary. Okay.
Got it.
So
you're going up there for a dog fight.
I said something that got the husband to drive his wife, who was crying, drive his wife home and come back. The comedy club's connected to the hotel. And I go back into the hotel and this like teenage girl is working the front desk and she goes, I see your picture. Just so you know, someone's in the hotel looking for you. Oh. He asked what room you were in and I wouldn't tell him, but he walked into the hallways. And so now I'm Mission Impossible all the way back to my room. Because I did say some nasty shit.
Do you remember what it was?
I do, but it's tough.
Well, if you want, you could say it, and then we can edit it out. Because I kind of want to know. Because that sounds like one of the most terrifying situations. To be like, hey, there's someone loose in the building, right? And they've got a real problem
he brought a friend.
With you.
And there are two of them. He brought another person.
Oh, man. So he dropped the wife off.
Yeah.
And was like, hey, bud. We got a real problem over there at the hotel.
We got to go give her, bud.
Yeah, hey, bud. We got a real fucking problem. This guy wants to get mouthy.
So first of all, this hotel's 2 stories.
Yeah.
And I always used to joke they put you up in that one because you couldn't kill yourself. So like, if this guy wanted to do damage,
to get injured,
it would actually be like, please finish it.
Do it.
It's only Thursday.
Do it, you pussy. I have 5 more of these fucking things.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so at the show, it is one of these, everybody gets in for free because it's a radio listener appreciation show.
Yeah.
You know who doesn't appreciate that?
Us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then there's
The
also
people that have worked on these jokes.
yeah, free buffet.
Yeah.
People haven't even taken their coats off.
Yeah.
They're in their coats eating, which is weird. But anyways, so I say, I'm explaining a joke. I go, so I'm in St. Louis. Yeah. And this woman goes, you're in Calgary. And she hasn't shut up the whole time.
Yeah.
And I go, yes, I know where I am. But in order to paint a picture of where I was in this story, I have to tell you that. And she goes, I don't like pictures. And so I say something to her, which doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, it's after.
Okay.
So he comes up and he goes, do I have to come up there and touch you?
What a Canadian way of threatening violence.
That's what he said to me.
I'm going to come up there and I'm going to hurt you with my hands.
Yeah.
Are you okay
I'm
with
about
that?
to put 5 in your eye, bud.
I got 5 friends here that are going to come together and make your night a real bad one, bud.
So I said to him after he goes, I'm coming up there and touch you. I go, I would rather you come up here and knock me unconscious than me have to deal with your fucking wife for 1 more second.
I love that.
So now she is weeping.
Yeah.
And by the way, they have these machines and they only
they were the first ones to have it.
Yeah.
Canada was the first ones to have come to your
The
table
handhelds.
with the handheld credit card.
But there were only 2 servers, which meant they only had 2 machines for this whole room. And it took them a while to figure out how to get those 2 out of there.
Oh, which you're trying to get back into the act.
And she's still yelling at me.
Yeah, because they're in the moment still. You're trying to move on.
Yeah. And the woman's still yelling and she's crying. And she goes, and now I have to go home to my children and explain it to them. And I go, explain what? That they're rape babies? And the place goes, fuck you, bud. That's too far. Which I know it is.
Great. Yeah, but I don't know. I think if I'm in that room,
in a foreign country.
USA.
I'm in a foreign country. Dude, that club, that was another one. There was a host one time where I get up and I go, I said something about the Queen. And then the host comes up and goes, leave it to these American dipshits talking about a queen like we have a queen. And why don't you, and he's talking to me, he goes, why don't you learn something about another country before you go to it? And I'm like, oh shit. So then I went to the public library the next day.
Looked it up.
And fucking they for sure have a queen. So.
It's on their money.
Yes.
It's on their money. They recognize the Queen of England on their fucking money.
Yeah. But
what are you talking about?
There was a treaty that makes sure even though the Queen isn't there or whatever, it's still representative.
Yeah.
And so I wait for him to come on stage the next night. And he's got long hair, but he slicks it all back and it's gelled. It's real hockey.
Yeah. He's got that Barry Melrose.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so he goes, hey, keep it going for Chad. And I grab the mic and I go, well, hold on here for just a second. We had an argument last night about the Queen and I didn't really get to say my piece. And so I take this thing out and I read the treaty. And then I go, and if that wasn't enough, and then I took out a 20, licked it and stuck it to his forehead.
Yeah, that's
and I go,
sick.
She's on your fucking money, bud. And then like, I was this fucking club, dude. It was tough.
Was this all the same?
No, it was not. It was
But I can't believe you went back.
I know.
Was the woman the first time you went or the second time you went?
So, she was the last time.
She was the last time.
Yeah.
You got a feral human in the hallways looking for you. I don't think you go back. Yeah. There's no way you go back.
In that hotel, there was a basement gym where the treadmill, you wouldn't have been able to do it because when I was running on it, I would push the foam ceiling tile up every time. So if you think I don't have asbestosis, you're crazy.
If you wait, when those commercials come on, you go, I'm gonna make a call.
Yeah,
I wasn't at Camp Lejeune, but I feel like I.
But I do have 2 Adam's apples. I don't think that's
I do
good.
breathe with a wheeze. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna say this off mic because I think I know. Was it?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's not the Calgary club I thought it was.
And by the way, I will tell you this, that the family that ran it, I really enjoyed. They would call you down and have family dinner with them and stuff. So it was really cool. But it was the people that came.
Yeah. Well, because you're getting people that are going to watch something that they don't know what they're watching. Right. So they don't know how to... I think a lot of people that start comedy don't realize you're not getting people that know you.
Yeah, it's a lot of free tickets.
Until 10 years in. Yeah. And then it's a slow trickle and then it builds. Unless you're like, you know, one of these people that's blessed from the beginning. Right. You're performing for people that are like, I don't know who you are. I don't care. Right. And sometimes young comics try to go up and do very personal material. And you're like, well, now it's just going to hurt your feelings because these people aren't going to give a shit. Right. You go up there and you're like, my mom died. And they're like, fuck you. And they're like in their coats eating mashed potatoes. Like, fucking go. It's
she probably fucking killed herself because you're her kid.
Butter. And you're like, God damn it. Just to clear up Montreal. So you do the 2 shows.
Yes.
Does it go well at all, the second show?
It went way better.
Way better.
Yeah.
But after that, were you like, fuck LA, I'm just going to stay on the road?
Yeah. So I had, like I said, 2 managers were looking at me from a Comedy Central contest I had done. And that's actually how I got Montreal. So the Montreal people saw me in that contest. And then these managers saw me too. So I already had management pretty much locked up.
Sure.
And then they got me an agent. And I didn't have, you know, when you're doing the road, when you're driving 8 hours to Kirksville, Missouri for $50 to open a show with a Confederate flag as the backdrop, and you're like, all right, well, I don't believe that stuff, and so we're not going to get along. But the good news is, it didn't make enough for gas. Yeah. So you know, when you're doing that stuff, you don't. I don't even know where I was going with this, but where was I going with this?
We were talking about not moving to LA or like you're working the road.
Oh yeah, I fucking don't know.
It's all right, dude.
I lost it.
Best part about this whole podcast, we edit the shit out of it.
Can I tell you something? When I said Confederate flag behind me, I was thinking of a show I did with this black comic who then opened for me because I went back there. Yeah. And he was like, you know, so nice to them.
Yeah, that you're like, do you see what's behind you?
And then I went on stage. I'm like, fuck you. Yeah. Like I remembered that thing where everyone knew where we were staying. So I was like, kind of keep it together, but there's for sure guns in here and you got to relax a little bit. But I was just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? So I took the flag down and they were booing. And I'm like, this one can touch the ground. It's not even a fucking flag.
Yeah, you guys lost.
Yeah.
See, what's nuts is, but that's kind of like, as a white guy, you can go talk to your family. Like the black guy's like, you guys might kill me, so I don't know what I can do. And you go like, hey guys, can I talk to you in the kitchen real quick? What the fuck are you doing out there? What's this flag? That's balls though to take it down.
It was just brutal. So anyways, that's why I completely lost what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I went back to that moment where I was like, remember that day you almost died?
Yeah. Remember when you put yourself in all that danger to take down something that was on the stage?
Actually, for